Talk about maximizing your 70 hours. That's all we got left for today. Yeah. 9 hours and 48 minutes. I was like, what in tarnation? That don't sound right. But I guess that's all we got. Luckily, we're only about 5 hours away from where we gotta go. So our daytime running light, we had a little daytime running light, ain't been working. I guess maybe that's why, huh? So we're gonna go get a bulb. They have a daytime running light up here, and this one is out. I just kept forgetting about it. There's one, and there's the other guy. I don't know why it took me so long to fix that. I guess I just kept forgetting. Not a big deal. Alright, we're ready to get out of here. Make sure no one pulled our pin. Not that they would have, but you never know. And yes, I did release my tractor brakes, but I set my trailer so it wouldn't roll away. To look, because you got to release the brakes for those parking or those running lights to come on. So, all right, we got a few more minutes and we'll get out of here. Gorgeous Iowa. It's a good place to stop here. Just fills up real quick, but it is a great place to stop. I love Quick Trips, Quick Stars. They're probably one of the best places you can stop at for a gas station / truck stop, fuel, whatever. Good food, great people. Just all around awesome place, especially for your money. They definitely care about the customer. It's like the old school American way. Chicken house is open. They rolled us across. Yeah, truck in there sitting on the scale forever too. I bet he was pooping his pants. They're inspecting. I mean, we're good, but just don't need the hassle. They just saw them signs and they're like, oh, them boys is from Iowa. Them good. So, we're still in Iowa, gorgeous green Iowa. Beautiful day of trucking, 80 degrees out. It's not windy at all, which is, well, I mean, maybe slightly, but it's nothing crazy. Really nice day of trucking, but past the rest area, and it had green parking spots in it for trucks, okay? They're all normal, and then there was 4 of them that were green. I don't think those are for handicap. Does anybody know? Are those for, like, the emission trucks that are deleted because they run cleaner and burn less fuel, or what is that for? It can't be for electric trucks because you don't ever see those out here anymore yet. Is it for CNG trucks that run propane and propane accessories, or I'll just go with the deleted trucks. That's what I'll go with. Or
They are for those guys that have 579 Peterbilts that have 5EK cat swaps into them and are pre-ELD, because those guys got no time. They got to go. Reserve spots, I guess. I tell you guys, we're in Rockford, Illinois right now. This wind is just insane, man. It's blowing right out of the west. I'm trying to knock these trees over sometimes, man. It's like you get a good gust that literally moves you over into the damn ditch. Luckily here we get up to the Wisconsin line here in a minute. We'll start heading east again, so it'll kind of be pushing us. But damn, I hope it calms down here pretty soon, because we get a lot of this. Ain't gonna be fun going home. And I mean, I don't know if you can kind of see those trees big over there. Look at that. Oh, we're getting hit pretty good over here right now. Luckily we're heavy, so I ain't doing much. But shit, I wouldn't want to be caught in this empty right now, especially going north. It's blowing out of the side. That's one thing if you got to deal with it on a headwind, but man, getting blown on the side, it sucks. Hello, Wisconsin! That 70s show? No? Nobody? Alright, I guess I'll stop. I just realized something. This is the town we bought this trailer in. Delavan. I wonder if it recognizes it. Probably not, because it's a trailer. So no joke, this is like the biggest quick trip, truck stop, whatever, stop everywhere, right? I don't know how many parking spots there is here, but it's quite a lot. That is literally the only parking spot I was able to find in this whole freaking place. All these stupid bobtails, all these idiot locals that live here, park their garbage here and go home. Because I promise you, tomorrow there'll probably be nobody here. Or later, when all these guys leave. I mean, there's no way that this truck stop will be this full at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or whatever it is. Something like that. So yeah, not a single one. Like this guy, you know he's not in there. Inside the truck stop, he's parked. Like this guy in his Volvo. So it's just insanity. It's like local people that park their trucks at truck stops. Shame on you. And I don't give a shit. I don't care. If you want to park your company's equipment, have them pay for a parking spot somewhere, or you pay for it yourself, because you're just taking away spots from people that are literally in need of it. Like that guy sitting there. That truck ain't moved forever. Look, it's still sitting here. Why isn't it towed? That piece of shit. You know he ain't moving. Airlines are all dragging, and like the caps, looks like it ain't been aired up for weeks. So, sweet. Yep. Gotta love local drivers. Look at those bobtails that are parked here. Literally. They can double park them. Nope. Alright, enough complaining. I'm gonna go inside and use their facilities.
Oh man, so many comments. Did you sell Fancy? Where's Fancy? Did you sell Fancy? No, we didn't sell Fancy. Fancy's right here. Yep, Fancy's right here next to the house. Next to the fuel tank that was formerly mine. And yeah, I'm giving Fancy a little bit of attention, just a little bit. I have something in my hands. I'll show you here in a second. So Father's Day is just around the corner. Shout out to all the fathers out there. And I decided I should probably finish a project I had started a long time ago for Martin. And Fancy, because Fancy's kind of a dad too. I like to think of Fancy as like the dad to Tiny and High Maintenance. Started it all. So yeah, I've been working on this project of painting Fancy's dash for, well, since the end of April, I guess. I haven't spent a lot of time on it because I've been kind of blowing it off. But while Martin was away this week, I got it done, popped it in the dash, and Fancy's looking pretty slick. So let me show you guys what I did. I had to come all the way to the back of the sleeper to get it on film for you guys. But yeah, what do you think? So it used to have wood grain, much like what's on the door there. And Martin wanted it to be red. Originally he said, just paint it all red. And I said, no, I need to do one step better. We need to keep that silver that is on there. So we're two-tone. I think it looks pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. I told you guys I'm standing in the sleeper. See? But yeah, I haven't told Martin I've done this. As far as he knows, it's still sitting in the garage all taped off. I had to do some repair because it was cracked in 2 spots. So I used some epoxy putty that I use for art projects. Put that on there. Got it looking pretty good. That was quite the ordeal. These pieces, they're fragile. I mean, this truck's like, well, it's 2009. It's old. I don't want to do math right now, but spent pretty much all of its life in California. The heat, yeah, you know how it goes. So the dash piece was pretty fragile. We did 2 repairs on it. Got it painted up, popped it in. Martin sometimes likes to come out here and sit in this truck. He just sits there and is one with the truck, having thoughts. So I'm not going to say anything until he comes out here and he gets to see it for himself. And I just found my house key for our old house that I lost a long time ago here in this truck. Are you kidding me? It was in Fancy the whole time. Oh yeah, we don't even live in that house no more, so I guess I don't need that key. But yeah. At least I know where it is. Mystery solved, right? Goodness gracious.
That is super cute. Good looking Century class. You don't usually see them like that anymore. They're usually all ragged out. Here's my POS Commons, according to all them cat guys. It's one guy that specifically got really mad because I took those mud flaps off the trailer and I said the crappy mud flaps. And of course, you know, with this insecureness, Millimeter Peter, he automatically jumped to the conclusions that I was trashing Caterpillar as the engine manufacturer. And I wasn't. I was just saying that the mud flaps were in really, really bad shape and they needed to go. So maybe that'll make him help sleep better at night. Newsflash though, there isn't one better than the other. They all suck. I have 3 of these. I know they suck. You don't have to tell me, buddy. But guess what? I know how to fix them. So I like them because I can fix them. That's what matters. If you can fix them and keep them running and they return profit, more power to you. Somebody also said that this vibrates. Yeah, it does. See? It's the nature of the beast. This is a cap that's on top that falls off of them because it's a garbage design. Now, the reason why it vibrates is, as you can see, the way these are designed, there's not really a gusset on it, and it vibrates. Especially at low engine speed, at idle, it vibrates. At high RPM, it doesn't do it when I raise the idle speed. So no, it's not loose. Look, it is not loose. They just vibrate on these trucks. Later, they redesigned this and they put a different bracket on it and it no longer does that. So, yes, I know it vibrates, but it's not loose. We still have 5 hours to our appointment time, but however, they do open early, so maybe we can get in there early. All right, so who wants to talk about profit? I'll talk about profit. We are 3,784 miles into our trip. We have 170 miles to the house, or no, it's not that. Actually, let me look it up. 167 miles to the house. Yep, 167 miles to the house. I'm gonna do some paperwork for my company. That way I don't have to do it when I'm at home. Since I'm sitting here doing nothing. By the time we get home, we'll be at 3,951 miles. Finally, that guy's leaving. It's like 60 degrees out here and he's idling his tits off. Yeah, serious 6 to go. All them horsepowers. It's a company we were gonna go to work for, but they were like, they called us, and now we want all these deposits from you. Then they called us back and begging us to come to work for them months later. I said, I'm not gonna pay deposits, so they'll go see what we could do. And then they never answered their phone again. Weirdos. Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. So anyway, profit. This truck makes sense to operate. Now, I couldn't tell you how fancy it would do on the same exact run, but I'm sure I would probably spend at least $800 more on fuel. $700 to $800 guaranteed. It's a lot of money in a week. We did run a lot of miles. We grossed just over $2 a mile for like all our miles, okay? Deadheading, everything. So we did pretty good. Now, we did negotiate with brokers. We did bounce from Ohio to Chicago to pick up our load, but it was all figured in the mileage rate because I was getting enough to go to Ohio, where I found that load out of Chicago that paid pretty good to go to Utah, and it made sense for me to do it versus trying to grab crap out of Cleveland, out of the Cleveland area. Because honestly, on the spot market right now, Ohio's pretty bad. Used to be pretty good, and it's not anymore. So I don't know why. I don't know what's happened. A lot of carriers in Ohio are taking that stuff and just running it, maybe. But after everything's said and done, after paying truck expenses, insurance, fuel, EODs, everything's said and done, we are taking home like $1.15 a mile because of this truck's operating cost, which is, in my opinion, pretty good for the miles ran. For spot market right now for reefer, you're not going to make a killing on it. You're going to pay your bill. There's money to be made. You just can't be picky and sit around, I'm not going to haul for $2 a mile. I'm going to tell you, back in 2008 and 2009, when the same thing happened, spot market wasn't nowhere near $2 a mile. Spot market on average, especially back then, okay, depending on what you were hauling, and I was hauling a reefer back then, was about $1.35 to $1.50 a mile on the load boards. Fuel is $4.50 a gallon. We still survived. Were we hauling that cheap? Sometimes you had to. I mean, you had no choice, because I didn't have direct customers. I hauled for a guy that kept me loaded both ways, and I was a broker. And to be honest with you, there was no such thing as $2 a mile back then. I mean, there was, but it was mostly contracted freight. Now, I know there's guys that don't move for $5 a mile. I don't care. I moved for $2 and I still made good money. Bottom line is, I don't mind driving this truck. I actually really enjoy driving this truck. It's very comfortable, and it's big and spacious, and it makes a good living for me. You could call it a rate cutting truck or whatever you want to call it. You could call it a rate cutter for all I care. But if you want to run your business, whatever way you want to run it, okay? But if it doesn't make sense, don't do it. For me, it made sense. I did it. I was going stir crazy, didn't want to sit in the house anymore. I went and did it, and I still made money on it. Still made pretty good money on it. So maybe it doesn't pay to run a W900 or a hooded Peterbilt at 4.5 miles per gallon or 5 miles per gallon doing 80 miles an hour, but that's why you got to rethink your business, because you're not out here to run 90 miles an hour everywhere you go. You're kind of out here to make money. So you got to plan your time, you got to run accordingly, and I mean, don't do 90 miles an hour again, 4 miles per gallon everywhere, 3.5 at that speed, because you know you're not going to do it. And even if you're getting $5 a mile and you can do that, why don't you slow the hell down and see how much money you'd save? I was doing 70 miles an hour everywhere, and this truck pretty much did 7 miles per gallon this whole week. Can't do that in a hooded truck. I know I've had hooded trucks all my life. This is pretty much my first aerodynamic truck that I've ran over the road, and first truck that I've got to experience really good fuel mileage. Now I had an FLD with the Detroit back in the day, but I wouldn't say that was anywhere close to this. It was probably around 6. So if I were to slow this truck down and do like 62 everywhere, 63, which I could have totally done and still made my week, I really could. I really could. I would probably run out of hours to go home, but you know how that goes. You can go home. I probably would have saved even more money. Now that being said, on 4,000 miles, basically 3,951 miles, I spent a little under, no, I'm sorry, $2,032, and that's with reefer fuel, which that cost around $170, I think, for the week, give or take, because 50-gallon tank, and that reefer was running nonstop to Ohio, and I was running all the time going to Utah. It's not running as much now, but I still filled it up completely because it was at a quarter tank, so I filled it up completely, so it's full for next week. Now, there's money to be made, just don't be picky. I mean, if you want to sit at home and not do nothing and go broke, by all means go do it. I mean, you can go broke driving your truck, or you can go broke home sitting. But honestly, I don't think you're going to go broke driving your truck. You just got to pick and choose your battles and how you want to run your business. I guess slow down if you got a large car, and maybe you'll get better fuel mileage. I don't know. Or buy a 579 with the X15 and an Endurant, and you might get 7 miles per gallon. And life will be grand.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Ooh, I've been on the flex since flex on. Neighborhood all in your eardrums.